Hey my friends, this right here is the trick to these doors sliding so well for years and years. You can't beat it. Hey, there he is. I found Doug. How y'all doing, my friends? So good to be back with you. I have to apologize for being out for a while. I have just been so busy with work lately. I had quite a few big jobs going on and had to get them wrapped up, and things have slowed down a little bit. So I wanted to get this done and get it out to you. And I've got so many other videos I've started that I've got to start wrapping up here real quick. But first off, a big hello. Good to see all y'all again. Good to be here with you. Also, my knee's been acting up. And no, it's not because I'm old and heavy and all that, but oh God, 15 years ago, I don't think I ever told y'all, I was up in North Quebec, a little town called Jonquière, and I know I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but they have some beautiful ski resorts up there, and we were up visiting relatives, and I had never snow skied before in my life. But I was talked into giving it a try and thought I would. And you would be amazed how quick you can learn the snow ski. They start you off telling you to do this pie thing. Put your two skis forward together and creep down the hill. And man, you catch on like this. I caught on real quick and I was doing great. I really was. Shaking my little hip and getting a few moves in. And as I'm going down the bunny flat slopes, I caught something in the left of my eye and I looked to my left and here comes this lady and she is bent over backwards skiing, coming down across me backwards, bent over, holding her little 2-year-old on some skis about 16 inches long. And she's going backwards faster than I'm skiing. I couldn't believe it. So I'm watching her go across and bam, I run into a snowbank. And you know the mistake you don't want to make when you go skiing for the first time? Do not forget to tell the people it's your first time. They had those boots on me way too tight. I hit that snowbank. When I went down, my leg was sticking, my knees were sticking straight. My legs, the bottom below my knee, was sticking straight up, and I'm laid on my back. Oh my God, my left knee, I couldn't walk. That evening, it got a lot better, felt a lot better. So, being me, I just let it go. Well, I've paid for it ever since. And let me tell you, it's been acting up lately. But anyway, here I go rambling on again. I'm sorry, guys. Let me show y'all how I've been asked by a few people about these sliding doors here behind me. They're probably coming on easily over 15, 16 years old, and they roll as good as the day they were built. And there's a little trick to that, and I'm going to sure show it to y'all real quick. Let's take a look-see, my friends. And again, so good to be here with you. Well, these doors slide very easily and very smooth. And as you can tell, most of the tools on this door on pegboard clips. The ones they make for screwdrivers and things like that just don't work very well, especially on a moving object. So I made my own. But this type right here, these hold the tool very firm, these screw-on clips. Can y'all see that? I'll do a close-up on it here in a minute. They lock in tight and hold the tool good and firm. So when they slide around, nothing really tends to move except the wrenches. And I hit that hard intentionally, but as you can see, they all bounce back right in place, and I never shut it that hard. But these things have worked just great. They're riding about an 1/8 inch off of the wood, off of the bottom, excuse me, and they never sag. And I had concern with that when I first built it, that they might sag. So let me zoom in here, zoom, and show y'all what I mean. There we go. Can you see that clip? It hooks into the top and it screws in on the bottom. Some of them, they make these in all different type of hooks. It's not just this type. They have straight ones that hook on like that and circles. You can find them on Amazon. They just don't hook in the board loosely. So they tend to hold the tool real nice and steady. Works great for you. This is about a 7-foot span across these doors, guys. And I didn't want a chance of any sagging here. It's firm in the front and secured, but in all cases it might not be. This might just be the bottom of your case. But just to make sure I never had any movement at all, what this is right here is this is a 3/8 inch piece of all thread running through the top with a bolt on the top, a nut and a bolt on the top, and a nut and a bolt on the bottom that I put on before I trimmed this. And I set it in with lock nuts so that it would never move. I got my length, got it level exactly where I wanted it, took it apart, and then cut this hollow piece of aluminum tubing to fit right around it with just a little bit of play. Slipped it in on the all thread after I had determined the length and the setting, and rebolted it back in place. Did I have to do that? No. You could have left the all thread right there, but I didn't want the all thread showing. So I put that little aluminum sleeve around it. And if you're going to build long doors like this, and they're going to be open on the bottom, the shelf is going to be open, this is a lot of weight and tools and stuff, so I didn't want any sagging. So that's why I put that there between the two sliding doors. Now my sliding doors, they could be flat. They don't have to have this excess lip hanging out right here. That's just the way I designed them. I've got the wood about 2 1/4 inches thick right there, and it's just mitered cuts on the corner, and you can build any size you want, any length you want. It doesn't matter. This is plain regular 1/4 inch masonry pegboard with a backer board behind it. You know what, guys? Let me make a drawing and show y'all something here real quick, okay? Alright, my friends, if you're gonna build this type of door setup like I did, I drew up a cut version, half, like as if I had cut the door in half, where you could see it. My oak frame, like I say, is about 2 inches wide here, and there's no reason for doing that. It could have just as easily been 1 inch. I just went 2 inches. Plus the tools are going to hang in this area. So it kind of worked. I mean, no real particular reason for doing that. You can see a close-up of this board. All right. You've basically got 2 inches by 3/4 inches, a 1/4 inch notch right here for the masonite, and a 1/2 inch notch for the backer board, which is this one. And this is the 1/4 inch masonite. Move that up. Which goes into the little rabbets that you've made on the ends. And then you just build a box, whatever size you want it to build. I left a 3/8 inch gap right there between them because your pegboard clips need a little space to go in and hook in the back, or the screws poke out a little bit if you use that type. And the 1/2 inch back, it doesn't have to be 1/2 inch, it could be 1/4 inch, but the 1/2 inch makes for a really stout door. And of course you glue it and pin nail it real well here. I even glue my pegboard in when I put it in place. So the wheels simply screw onto the back right here, and they sit in a track that goes down here. I did I think that is a 1/2 inch dado for the particular track I used. And this right here, guys, is where the trick comes in. This is the whole little thing to making this thing roll real smooth. Let me show you. This is my aluminum track that's dadoed into the bottom where the wheels roll. Right here. It's just a store-bought U-shaped piece of aluminum. I think this one's about 4 foot long. I think you can get them into up to 8 foot lengths if I'm not mistaken. And that's all that's sitting in that wood. right down here where the wheel is rolling in it. There's a dado cut into that, so this aluminum track sits in there. These are the wheels I'm using, my friend. I get them at Home Depot. You can get this type of wheel at any type of hardware, I would think. They are glass patio door rolling wheels is what they are. Glass patio door ball bearing rolling wheels. Here is the actual wheel, my friend. It's ball bearinged. Guys, this is a 1/4 inch round piece of aluminum tubing. 1/4 inch round aluminum tubing. We're back to that square piece of tubing that I've got recessed. This round piece just drops in. It just sits in there, my friends. Just like that. Just lays in on the bottom. As you can see, it doesn't protrude up past the top. This is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square or U-shaped aluminum tubing with the 1/4 inch aluminum rod in the inside. That is exactly what's in there on the bottom. There is no round rod on the top. I have that track recessed into the wood and that round 1/4 inch rod just sitting loosely in the track there. On the top, it's just glued and screwed in. No round rod on the top. Here is the piece of U-shaped aluminum with the round tube sitting in it. Again, just sitting there loosely. Gravity is holding it in because it's on the bottom. The bottom, not the top. Alright guys, I took the round tubing out of the U-shaped tubing so you could see why the little trick works here so well. Here's the wheel. You see the concave in it, the indentation, just like a wheel you'd find on a pulley. It rides on the bar when it's rolling around inside the track. That's what makes it roll so smooth. It's not on a flat surface. It's riding on the rounded bar that is sitting inside the track. That's why it goes well. This is the masonite I'm using, my friends. It comes in white for the most part. Everywhere I've ever seen it, it's white. They do make metal ones, but this works better. This is just 1/4 inch masonite. Sits right into that 1/4 inch groove and frames up real well with the trim around it. Just plain old 1/4 inch white masonite pegboard. Works wonderful. When the wheel is sitting in the track, it's not sitting on the flat surface or rubbing the sides of the metal because it's being held in the center of the track by rolling on the wheel. Tracks beautifully works. Like I say, these have been sitting there 15, 16 years and they work as good as the day I built them. Hey my friend, if you look closely at these wheels, you'll notice the ball bearing protrudes out a little farther than the flat surface of the wheel. When you're mounting it, put a fender washer on it first. Where the fender washer would be touching your wood. Like so, before you screwed it into the wood, it keeps the ball bearing, the wheel from ever running into the back of your door if you do it that way. And of course this screws on to the back. Hey my friends, I'm holding this drawing crooked intentionally. Trying to set this up in the camera. That looks like a pretty square drawing, which it is. It's an exactly square drawing. But watch this. It doesn't look square anymore. Is that the weirdest thing ever, huh? The camera lens playing with me there. If this is the back of your door, all you're going to see is the small edge of your oak and your plywood back. And in the front, of course, you're going to see your pegboard and the open area of your door. before you're screwing your wheels on the back, like so. Like I say, put that fender washer there. It keeps that wheel from rubbing the back of the door. Let about 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch of the wheel stick down past the bottom of the door. 3/16 should be plenty, just depending on how deep you dadoed in your aluminum track. I left mine sticking about 1/16 inch above the wood. If you can't find wheeled rounded patio wheel doors, plain old pulleys for rope have the same type of wheel inside them. You can use pulley wheels. And if you wanted to use a larger aluminum rod for a bigger, bulkier, heavier door, you could get wheels that are arched off of pulleys. Small little pulleys. And again, you can get these at the Home Depot and the hardware stores. The camera just doesn't want to focus, huh? There we go, sorta. One of the things, guys, I wanted to mention, if you'll notice, my doors are 2 inches wide. Most doors like this that have wheels on the top and the bottom, you lift them up and stick them in, then drop them. You lift them up, stick this part in, and then drop them down on the bottom wheel. And they sit in the slot. And that works fine and dandy if your object is very thin. With mine being 2 inches wide, I couldn't do that. So I put the doors in before I put the side on. Just slid them in from the side. In other words, just like as if you were looking at this drawing. There's no finished side on this yet, so I slid them in place and then put the side on. To get them out, I can reach behind the back and take the screw out. I didn't intend on leaving these mounted with a screw into the wood. That just didn't seem very secure. I thought I could do better than that. Everything from a threaded insert put in to epoxying in and all thread and then bolting them on. There's more secure ways to put it on with just a screw. But I mounted them with the screw, thinking I would change it out if I had to with a epoxied in all thread, or again an insert, a threaded insert, and then bolt them on. They just keep working and working with the screws. I've never had a mess with them or change them. So, although I didn't originally think the screwing the wheels on would be that great of an idea, here it is all these years later, and they're working great. And this is what I mean by left the sides off, guys. When I built this cabinet, before I set it here on the wall, and it was only built 4 foot tall at that time, and then the rest of it was added on top of it as it was finished. But before I put this side on, I slid my doors in. Because again, like I say, you can't do that lift and drop when your doors are that wide. And it got really tall after the fact. And this little set right here was done the same way. Put them in, put the sides on, then hung the box. These little things right here, guys, are door bumps for a doorknob. They're rubber, they screw on with one single screw in the center, and they make great little bump stops for me. Not expensive at all. Again, sell that type of thing at any hardware. Man, I gotta get some of that touch of gray stuff. I'm looking rough. Hello, hello, hello. I hope that helps y'all a little bit if you're thinking about building some sliding doors for tools in your shop. It works real good for me. Like I say, they've been holding up for years and years. Been real happy with them. So if I can answer any other questions on that, guys, please don't hesitate to ask. Please, I love the comments, and I'll answer everybody, I promise you. Most definitely. Guys, I probably got about I think 5 or 6 videos that I'm working on that I've got to get finished up for you. I've been running behind here lately, as you might have noticed, and I apologize for that. I did a sit-down little video with a gentleman named Rob and Mark doing a little talk, which was very nice. I had a lot of fun doing it, although my camera setup was horrible, but Rob did a better job than I did. The Weekend Shed Head is Rob's channel, and Mark is the Small Woodshop Adventures. That's the Weekend Shed Head with Rob, and Small Woodshop Adventures with Mark. If y'all could do me a small favor and go over and check them out and give them a sub. They're great guys, wonderful people. Love talking to them. Their humor, their personality, their caring heart, just wonderful guys. It was such a pleasure talking with them, and I'd like to help them out a little bit if I can. So y'all please go check them out and give them a sub if you would. The Weekend Shed Head and the Small Woodshop Adventures. Alrighty, guys, I got to get back to work. I'm behind on some videos right now, so I'm going to get back to that. But if I can help y'all with anything, please don't ever hesitate to ask. And thank you, my friends, thank you. And as always, I'll be back.